So this is part 2 of my famous Q&A series. And in this video, I'll be answering your burning questions on homeschooling, home management, and self-care. So make sure to grab your favorite drink, a water, and come hang out here while we chat. Alaikum, my name is Iman, and on this channel, I help Muslim moms homeschool with confidence and joy while having simple routines and systems to stay on top of their home management and doing all that without sacrificing your own self-care. So I got great feedback on my last Q&A that I did, which I'll link right here. And I actually love doing a Q&A video because it's like a simple, relaxed, easy type of video for me to record because I love just talking. And because I got great feedback, I thought I would maybe make this a series and maybe do like one Q&A video every 3 months. So today is part 2 of my Q&A videos. And I have a whole bunch of questions that I got from you guys on Instagram and YouTube. Okay, let's get straight into your questions. Okay, so the first question has multiple parts and I'll be answering each part one by one. So this question is from YouTube and it says, I'm sure you probably answered this before, but when do you cook meals so kids can have nap time and quiet time and I'm able to have my free time and my work block? Okay, so let me answer that. So what I do when it comes to meals is I use a meal plan rotation system. And every day I know what meals I'm cooking for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when I cook, personally, this is what works for me. When I cook for 2 days. When I cook lunch, I make a large batch so I can have lunch for today and tomorrow. And then dinner, same thing. I cook for today and tomorrow. So the first day that I cook is the time that actually takes me the longest to cook. And what I do is first, because I know what I'm cooking based on my meal plan rotation system, which is a video I'll link right here and explain all that and how to create one for yourself. But because I know what meals I'm cooking that first day, I take out my meat in the morning and I also cut up some like vegetables that I would need for dinner during breakfast time when I'm making breakfast. And I just put that in the container. Just so I don't have to cook during quiet time and a nap time and I can actually enjoy that time. I always start cooking early after my quiet time and nap time finishes. So that finishes around 3:30 and I always start making dinner like maybe 4. So starting dinner early is the key. So 4 p.m. I start early, I get my meat done, I get my pasta or my rice done, and I can get dinner done in 35 minutes. And so when it comes to lunch is pretty simple to make. I chose meals that take me literally 10 minutes to make. Dinner is what takes me the longest. And you really have to be strict on your boundaries on your quiet time and your nap time, okay? Do not cook when it's your quiet time and nap time. Do not do dishes, do not make snacks. Just try to plan everything else ahead of time. And so that's the first question. The other question is, do you work in the evenings? I'm assuming maybe working on my YouTube channel and working on my small business. Yes, I sometimes work in the evening, like on my night block, but I try not to. I try to get all my work done in my morning before my kids wake up, or during my quiet time block is when I do some YouTube videos and anything I have to do with my small business. I try not to work on evenings, but sometimes I do. The other question is, what time do you work out? This is literally a struggle for me. It really is. I'll let you know when I do start working out what works for me, but working out is the one thing that I really struggled with, trying to find time for it, trying to be consistent with it, trying not to fall off the wagon, because I would like start working out for like 2-3 days, walking on the treadmill, and then I don't do it for like 3 weeks. So I'm trying to figure out something that works for me. I have young kids. I have a toddler that didn't sleep. She sleeps now, alhamdulillah. But for the longest time, she didn't sleep. So I didn't really get a good night rest. It was hard for me to wake up in the mornings to work out. But I know mornings is the key to working out, even if it's like 10-15 minutes. And I'm trying to find a better routine on that. I'm working on it. Once I find something that works for me, then I'll share it. But I know working out is the biggest problem that homeschooling moms face, especially if you have younger kids. And then the other part of her question is, I'm trying to find a new routine after having my second baby 7 months ago. And it's been a lot to juggle. And your baby is still so young. You were considered postpartum at 7 months. I believe you are postpartum for 2 years. At least 2 years, it takes your body to recover, sister. So do not be hard on yourself. If you want to work out, maybe try to work out, give yourself like 2 times a week or 3 times a week, something that's realistic. And if you're struggling to manage meal times and cleaning with a baby, that is completely normal. Find like 1 or 2 things that works for you. For example, starting dinner early, working out 1 or 2 times a week, something like little like that. And the biggest thing is just being consistent with it. That's the biggest advice I can give for someone that has a young baby. The next question is from YouTube. If someone doesn't want to do proper homeschooling, but still they want to teach the child Islamic values and knowledge about Islam at home, then how can they teach that at home? And I just want to say, even though you don't homeschool, your kids go to public school, your kids go to Islamic school, you can still teach anything that you want at home to your kids. You can reinforce the academic knowledge, review their math, their reading, their writing. You can review the Quran with them, teach them Islamic knowledge, Islamic values. None of that is stopped just because your kids go to school. Parents are the first teachers, even if your kids go to school. And always reinforce that. Constantly talk to your kids and teach them at home. And so teaching Islamic knowledge can be done, number one, through conversation. And this is a similar question, which I'll put up here too, is any Islamic curriculums? So I'll answer that question as well. So for the previous sister that asked that question, number one, teaching Islamic knowledge can be as simple as conversations with your kids. Don't undervalue the conversation that you have with your kids every day. When you're dropping them off in the morning at school, when you're picking them up after school, when you're dropping them off at programs and sports, those times that you have in the car, those conversations that you have in the car, take advantage of that. Teach them about Allah, teach them about the prophets, teach them about our Prophet ﷺ and his sunnah, and teach them what the purpose of life is, who we are as Muslims, why did Allah create us. I love talking to these topics to my kids and sometimes just challenging them, asking my young kids, why are we created? Why did Allah create us, subhanahu wa ta'ala? Why do some people worship statues and some people don't? Why do we read Quran? I literally just ask my kids this question and they tell me. And that tells me how much they know and what I need to teach them about. So just conversations, asking them questions, that's literally the best way you can teach Islamic knowledge to your kids. The other way is through using curriculum, using books. So there are 4 to 5 Islamic curriculums that I recommend to the ladies in my community. I have a homeschooling membership community. I'm at a circle, and in there I give all my ladies and all my members a list of all the curriculums for every subject based on how your child learns. And so the Islamic curriculum, I'll actually put them down in the description box for you guys to check out and do your own research on. But these are actual books that your child opens, reads it, answers questions, and that's it. Like, it has lessons. So you can do 1 lesson a day, 2 lessons a day with your child that goes to school and just have conversations with them based on that lesson. Okay, so the next question I got from YouTube is, wa alaikum salam, please give me details about the certificate and the Indian association that promotes and authorizes homeschooling in India. So number one, I cannot give advice on this because every country, every province, every state have their own homeschooling laws. So you would have to do your own research on homeschooling, what the laws are, what you can and cannot do. So I recommend doing your own research, like a simple Google research, to figure out what the laws are and the standards are. And then the other part of the question is also some tips on how to keep track and not fall behind due to parents' procrastination and lack of planning syllabus. So for me, the best way I try not to fall behind is, number one, I buy curriculums that are already planned out, that are already easy to use. Like, I literally just open the book and I just start teaching from the curriculum. It's already organized, it's already easy and laid out for me that I don't have to plan anything. So math, we literally have lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. So I just open up the lesson we're on, I teach a lesson, my child does the workbook, and we're done. Math. Reading, same thing. I open up the book. So we call that open and go curriculums. They are like already scripted and they're easy to use. So that's what I do when I choose curriculum. So there's no planning. Number 2 is I plan a year in advance. So before I start my homeschooling year, I print out a whole school calendar and I choose what days we're going to take off. So I highlight the days I'm going to take off. And then I go backward and I actually start counting the days we're going to do school. So I do 6 weeks on, 1 week off. And every 6 weeks that I do school, I have 1 week off. And that's my break. And I have to hold myself accountable to having to do schooling when I need to do school. And I told myself that I'm going to do school. And the days that I'm off, I'm off. So because I already planned for that and I know a break is coming, I push through and I know I have to do school because educating my kids is a responsibility on me. And I know that. It's a huge responsibility and I cannot play around. So when it comes to procrastination, pushing it back, I cannot afford to do that. And because I know how important my role is. So because I plan, Because I know what I'm using, it's easier not to procrastinate because everything's already organized. And because I do my school for 6 weeks, I know a break is coming. So I just push through, do our school, and then we get a whole week off. So because I know breaks are coming, I include breaks in my planning. And if I need breaks and I'm not feeling well, I just take that week off. So because I include lots of breaks throughout my homeschool year, that helps me to keep on top of actually doing school and not pushing school back. Okay, so the other question is, how do I balance house chores with homeschooling? And this is literally what I teach on my channel. This is what I teach in my homeschooling membership to other Muslim sisters, Amana Circle. And so if you are really interested in learning how I do it, need me to guide you step by step, I really recommend joining my homeschooling membership because that's where I give the most intimate help. So if you're interested in actually getting intimate help, make sure you check out some information down below or just email me and I'll let you know how to join, inshallah. Okay, so the next question is very similar to what I already answered, is how to teach young kids about Islam. The best way to teach young kids about Islam is talking to them, having conversations about Islam with them. That's literally the number one way I started. And then after, as my kids get older, then I introduce books to them. But you don't even need books. If you don't have books, just talk to your kids about who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, the 5 pillars of Islam, the 6 pillars of Iman, who our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is, his sunnah, all the stories about other prophets. Kids love stories. If you can use stories, that would help them remember and retain. They love stories. They love stories. So teach Islam through stories and conversation. Okay, so the next question is, I want to homeschool, but I'm scared I'm going to lose my sanity and self-care time. And surprisingly, this is a common question that I get in my email of sisters that are starting to homeschool, that are currently homeschooling, and they're just struggling with taking care of themselves. And they feel like they are losing themselves. And there's also sisters that want to homeschool, but they're scared of losing themselves. And I just want to say, you can homeschool, you can manage your home, and at the same time have time for yourself. It's a balance that you really have to work on and practice. And all that comes with creating systems and routines in your home and managing your time as well. Something that you kind of have to start doing, start implementing, and then refining your routines, refining your systems, your time management strategies, figuring out what works, what doesn't, change things up. And then once you find what works, subhanAllah, it's like a light bulb that goes off in your head and you find the peace. You're like, okay, I actually can do it. And so I teach all this in my free YouTube videos, in my homeschooling membership, like I said. But I really want to say the biggest thing, having time blocks, and the middle time block, which is a quiet time, nap time block, is protecting that for yourself. That's when your children are having quiet time, and this is when you get quiet time. So protecting that time for you to have your quiet time, and then also waking up before your kids to have your quiet time, to fill your bucket, to keep yourself rejuvenated. You have to wake up before your kids, even if it's 15 minutes, sister. 15 minutes. Wake up. That gives you enough time to make a tea, to read a little bit of Quran, some morning adhkar, something. Okay, just wake up before your kids to take care of yourself, and in the middle of the afternoon you should have some quiet time as well. The other thing is working with your husband or your family members to have one day a week for yourself that you can go out, go to the mall, do things that you want for a couple of hours without any kids. Homeschooling moms deserve a couple of hours once a week just to go out without kids. So these are a couple of things that I recommend. At the same time, organizing your homeschool in a way where it doesn't need you as much because you've planned it and it's ready to go and it's organized, and managing your home in a way with its routines and it runs on autopilot. Once you have your homeschool and your home organized, then you'll have so much more time to take care of yourself and have self-care time throughout all that. If you like this video, then you will love this next video on the screen, which is my part 1 of my Q&A session. So if you're interested in more questions that I've answered, check out the video on the screen.